Hey everyone, after rereading all of One Punch Man, the number one character I want to talk about first is Genos, simply because of his growth in such a short amount of time. And honestly, I don't think people understand just how impressive Genos was, considering the first time we saw him, he lost to some mosquito gill. Obviously, by the context, I'm gonna be scaling Genos and just talking about how impressive he is throughout the entire manga. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe, and go get your popcorn. I'm gonna let this intro run, and maybe back in a sec. In the series, Dr. Casino learns how to improve Genos from each one of his encounters. He has shown this on multiple occasions. Example of this is when he faces Garo. Garo takes away his arm and Genos proceeds to attack Garo even when his arm wasn't attached. This is clearly an improvement compared to his previous battles where he has lost body parts and became defenseless, like when he faced the Mosquito Girl in his first fight on screen. During the fight, he loses his arm and gets his body sliced, which resulted in him getting saved by Saitama. In Chapter 21, a few S-Class heroes were trying to destroy Meteor, which would have destroyed multiple talents, because it was threat level dragon. This experience makes Genos want to seek out even more power, when he sees that Saitama basically handed it alone. Short answer, he did. In Chapter 37, he faces a cyborg called G4, which was stated to be a threat level tiger, and he beats it alone, and proceeds to take his parts to increase his strength even more. In Chapter 42, Genos faces Speed O Sound Sonic, where Saitama stated that he has become faster since the Domesticato, fast enough for him to be considered faster than at least base form Sonic. And remember, Sonic was already as fast at the speed of sound, stated in his name and the data book, otherwise known as Mach Speed, meaning Genos should at least be around Hypersonic by this time. Genos does learn that in the future he might need to have a plan against those who could be faster than him. This is shown in Chapter 64 when he faces the threat level demon Awakened Cockroach. During the fight, Genos admits to himself that he isn't as fast enough, so he uses instantaneous super strength adhesive, basically super glue, and blasts him to finish the fight. After he gets defeated by Gogetsu, which makes him seek out even more power. Later on in Chapter 83, he faces Garo. Garo states that with Genos' amazing speed, he's just as strong as Tank Top. This is what's a Genos that hasn't showed his true strength when it comes down to his firepower just yet, meaning in terms of power, he should at least be above rank 17 and 16 out of the S ranks. Later on, Genos fights another cyborg known as G5 and defeats him with no problem and states, "It seems that you've undergone upgrades like I have," meaning that Genos once again got stronger. His newfound strength helped him with the fight against God Amp Seikos. His blast was strong enough to redirect the blast from Seikos, the same blast that broke a chunk of the very planet. Genos is strong enough to redirect all of the blast, and he's even fast enough to get ahead of the blast, and strong enough to split the blast. It doesn't take a genius to know that off those feats alone, Genos can be scaled pretty high. Even before the fight with Seikos, he states he can completely destroy the meteor. And those who don't know, the meteor we see at the beginning of the story was pixel scaled to be around large island level. I will leave the calcs from the video in the description below. The blast that Genos redirected can be scaled anywhere from large country level to continental. What's even more impressive though is that Cyclops is supposed to be stronger than Lord Orochi, the same being who displaced layers in the outer core, extracting energy from the earth and causing a worldwide earthquake that was scaled to be about multi-continental feet, and it's implied that Cyclops scales above him in power, meaning that Genos should be able to scale to multi-continental in power. Even in terms of combat speed, you should even argue that he's FTL. Y'all remember that cockroach that stated, "Even if you shoot at light speed, you couldn't touch me"? That same cockroach got blitzed by Lord Orochi. Even if you want to say that he was weakened, I can simply say it was a narrative that Orochi was above all the monsters anyway, meaning he should at least be faster than light speed. More proof of this is that it's stated in the Rogue, which stands for Wards of God, meaning the author starts that Genos has no chance against him. For those who don't remember who that is, it's that little space outpost. And for those who are wondering why that's proof, it's because it's stating he's able to attack at sublight speed in an interview, which I will leave the link below in the description. Meaning he should at least be faster than that and be above the likes of the Homeless Emperor, who was literally manipulating light. Orochi should be above the Homeless Emperor's attack speed. Main point, Orochi should at the very least be FTL and attack speed, and Sickles should be above him, and Genos was fast enough to react to whole attacks. Meaning Genos should be around multi-continental and FTL. And obviously, through the series hasn't ended yet, and as we know, he improves every fight. So he will most likely get faster and stronger in the future. So let me ask you, has Genos come forward since the beginning of the series? If you think he has, please hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.